Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Inflames toys and Newsoul toys, Zhu Bajie, aka Pigsy from the Journey to the West. And if you follow the channel, you'll know that I've got the previous figures in this line in Sun Wukong and Shawujing, and they were both absolutely fantastic figures. And I'm definitely glad that they're also going to come out with Tang Sanzang to finish the line, which is the Tripitaka Monk, and I think that's coming out in later in Q3 or Q4 of this year. And the horse and the White Dragon horse looks absolutely fantastic. But I did get this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I have been a bit busy with a trip to Melbourne, and work's been a bit crazy to get to this review, but I finally got to it. So thanks again to Charles from OSR for managing to get this for me from Malaysia through XL Shop, I think it is again. It took them a while to get it because apparently they were waiting for their container ship to come, but finally it arrived, and it's probably not as good as the other two releases, to be honest, but it's still a pretty damn awesome figure for what it is. So the packaging, you get the awesome artwork that comes with this line. So I love so there's the Zhu Bajie, and there's the sort of classical style artwork, and there's the figure there. Just don't mind the fact that he's a bit naked at the moment, but you pretty much have to do that to get all the plastic off, but I'll get to that in a second. And there's a shot of the figure as he is set up, and once he is set up, he does look pretty damn fantastic. So I'll start going through all the accessories. Hold on. Alright, accessories wise, it comes with the usual base in this classy style, so nothing too fancy. You just have this clear post and the sort of waist grabber that you can put over it. But I normally like the crotch stand, so I'll be swapping that out for a standard base, but it looks okay. It comes with this awesome staff of his, or the rake, in that classic style. Love the molding and the paint application. All the sort of silver and black wash in there is very nicely done. Unfortunately, it's not fully metal, unlike the Sun Wukong staff, which was metal, and I don't think the Shawujing one was metal either. But either way, the molding and the detail is very nicely done, even in the hilt at the bottom here. So overall, very happy with that staff. He comes with a range of hands, so he comes with various poses and so on. They're all fairly nicely molded and painted. All of them have the sort of hair look on the back of the hands there, if you can make that out. So overall, not too bad, fairly plain. But you get all the sort of various styles to hold the accessories and do the various sort of kung fu poses. So nothing there to complain about. And he also comes with his little hat that you can just place on his head. So if I just grab the figure again, you sort of just place it on top like so. You can sort of push it down, but I wouldn't recommend pushing it down too far, and there is a risk of paint transfer onto the head sculpt as well, which I'll get to in a second with the outfit and why he's actually naked at the moment. So the suit itself, it comes with his outer coat, if you want to call it that, or his tunic or whatever. The material, it's sort of a very thin, nicely tailored material, and the stitching is really nicely done. So the hand sort of comes through this small gap, and it's got this nice flowing sleeve area there. So the texture is nice and soft. It's like a really thin type of cotton material, but the stitching is really nice all the way around. So love the tailoring, love this sort of white detailing along the edge there. So overall, that's a really nicely tailored piece of 1/6 scale clothing. Unfortunately, it is black, or very dark blue. No, it's black, and of course that may transfer the coloring onto the body. And there is a warning in the packaging that says, under normal conditions, if there is color transfer to the body, there's nothing they can really do about it, and it's not a fault that they will replace the figure for. So just be very careful of that. It comes with the sash that goes around his waist, so it faces that way. There is a wire through the sashes here, the ends of it, so you can have it flowing in the wind and bending it whichever direction you want. So nice touch there, and you just sort of wrap it around. Once you put the tunic on, you just wrap this around his waist, and it clips together with a metal clasp that you see there, and it clasps in fairly nice and easy. And I do love that they use a metal one, unlike the bloody Hot Toys ones, which are plastic and really are very delicate, and I've snapped probably about 3 of them on my Hot Toys figures. So why they don't go to these metal ones is beyond me, but thankfully Inflames Toys here has gone with the metal one. So the overall detailing in the sculpt here of the patterning there is very nicely done. But onto the figure. Alright, starting at the head sculpt, and it's another fantastic head sculpt by Inflames Toys. The other two were really outstanding in both the mold and the paint app, and I gotta say this one here is just as good. A lot of people are saying, what the hell is this pig figure that you got? But I guess if you're into Chinese mythology, or you grew up in the 80s and know about monkey magic and that sort of stuff, you'll know exactly where this is coming from. So it's a classic Chinese mythology in this Journey to the West line, and I think this sculpt with the glassiness in the eyes there, detailing in the mouth and the lips, a really awesome job. You sort of get a hint of a 5 o'clock shadow across his head there, and the ears are just very nicely done. So I love all of that. The hat fits fairly nicely, but again, what I'm particularly worried about is the transfer of this black coloring all the way around on the hat onto the scalp. So what I might try and do is either, I don't know, put some plastic in there or some tissue or something, just to have it against it so it doesn't transfer that ink, because for the body I already have a couple of marks where the ink has transferred, and so it is a very real risk. So just be very careful, but it does look pretty damn good with the hat on. The body itself, the arms are your standard sort of plastic, or at least the top part of the arms here are your standard sort of plastic, shiny plastic, whereas the forearms here and the whole torso is actually painted. So you'll see in a couple of areas, well, actually straight out of the box, this whole torso section is covered in plastic, and I'm not sure how it happened, but you'll see along this area here, you can see a hint of it there, along that edge right there, and along the back here, just along here, you'll see that some of the black or blue ink of the clothing has already transferred to the body. And considering that all of this was covered in plastic, it must have been done before they even put the plastic on the damn figure. So really there's not much that I can do about it now. I don't think there's any way that I can get it off, because it seems to, once it's on there, it's almost like it seeps through into the actual paintwork itself. So there's absolutely nothing that I can do about it. Luckily it's just a hint on this side, and once the tunic comes across, the sides of the tunic pretty much hide that anyway. But whether or not it's going to transfer any more is anyone's guess. Hopefully it doesn't, but we'll just have to see what happens. But the paint application on the body itself is quite nicely done. You get a bit of the chest hair there. His old man boobs look pretty good. His belly button there, and I guess on the back it's just the standard sort of detailing there, nothing too fancy. And his whole torso is on a rotate, and you can sort of, it's on like a weird sort of ball joint, so there is the back and forth you can't really sort of ab crunch, but you can sort of lean back a little bit. If you pull his pants down, it sort of tends to get stuck in the groove there, so just be careful of that. I usually use one of these little Hot Toys plastic tools to get it out. But other than that, it's pretty good. The arms, you can see the articulation there. It's got a good range of motion out to the side. You've got the bicep swivel. He's got the full range of motion forward and back. Double jointed elbows that work quite well. And then of course he's got the forearm with the ball joint in the wrist for all the articulation in the wrist, like so. So overall, the articulation in the upper half of the body is actually very, very good. With the head, you have the tilting action. There is a ball joint on the neck there, so you can get his neck going as well as the top of the head, and of course the rotation. So all in all, the articulation is as you would expect for a 1/6 scale figure. I guess the design comes in the unique body, and he is quite heavy. So I'm not sure if it's just something in his waist area here, but there is a lot of center of gravity in there to the figure. The waist, I'm not going to bother taking the pants off, but the articulation in the legs is pretty damn awesome. So you can get him into some wide sort of kung fu poses, and with the sort of bagginess of the pants, there's no restriction to the articulation. So he's got a fantastic range of motion, double jointed knees, and full ball joint action on the ankles as well. So full articulation and and they're all like firm joints as well. So nothing's loose, nothing's too tight or anything like that. It's pretty much just perfect. Even despite the weight of the figure, the ankles will hold the poses. So can't complain about that at all. The pants are the same material as the tunic, so it's a very nice sort of thin cotton style material. The shoes here, I love the little sort of fabric white sort of ankle things that go into the shoes, or they're almost like big socks, I guess. And then you get the fabric shoes with the nice tie strap there. I had to retie that one, so it probably doesn't look as nice as it probably could, but I'll futz around with that. And so the Kung Fu shoes look quite nice in that sort of style. So I'll get him set up with the tunic and wrap around the waist thing again, and get him set up in a pose, and give you guys a look at that with the other two figures as well. So hold on a second. Alright, so here are the three figures set up together. I'm not the world's best poser, so I'll probably have to futz around and look at some of the online pictures from some of the better bloggers out there who do some amazing poses. But I'll set up these guys like so. So that's the Monkey King on the right here, and Sun Wukong, and Sha Wujing on the left there, and Zhu Bajie in the middle. So all together, they do look pretty damn fantastic. The overall quality from this line from Inflames is pretty much on par with anything you would get from Sideshow. The paint application is probably not to the Hot Toys level of quality just yet, but the texture, the tailoring, etc. in the outfits is pretty much on par with anything you would get from those particular figures. So overall, I absolutely love this line, and I cannot wait until the White Dragon Horse and Tang Sanzang get released later this year to finally complete this classic Chinese troupe from the Journey to the West. Is something that I've wanted in 1/6 scale for a long time. And I think they'll go perfectly next to the Fellowship of the Ring that I'm also collecting from Azimuth Toys. So having those two sort of groups of adventurers together in the display cabinet is going to look pretty damn amazing. So hopefully they'll all come out fairly soon. Hopefully you can click that subscribe button. I've also got a couple of other 1/6 scale figures coming in from BBTS in the Damn Toys and Blitzway Universal Soldiers coming in soon. So hopefully you can subscribe and stay tuned for that coming up next. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.